Hi, Peter Allen, Bigger Transformation. And what I'm going to work today is what I've kind of been preaching is the hips and the importance of doing the hips. So I'm going to get in a couple of the key positions and work that area, probably work the quadriceps too a little bit. We want to make sure we just kind of keep hitting those hips, especially again, working legs, getting that tissue to move, because we're trying to increase our mobility, okay? I could never get into this position comfortably at all. Now I can sit in this position, no problem. Where for years I struggled to even kind of touch my toes. And my hamstrings are still tight, but I gotta understand too, is like I would have my hips pitched back for years, kind of in this position. And that tightens up the hamstrings even further because I'm elongating the hamstrings when I'm standing. And also the deep gluteal muscles are just becoming really hard and restricting my movement in my leg and in my hip, and I'm not realizing, or we don't realize it. So what I'm going to do, cross this leg over, try to get into as big a stretch as I can. I'm going to kind of work, check a little bit, so I notice like where my kind of hamstring comes on and off, really tight through here, out through where the glute connects to the femur as well. Part of that's my quadricep and my hamstring. So I'm going to kind of get into this area. It's going to feel like you're, again, like sitting on bone. You got to realize that tissue has become this really hard. And we want to just kind of sit in that area and kind of pull on the hip a little bit. Again, usually you can start to feel the tissue kind of move. I'm going to work my way kind of back towards the upper part of the coccyx bone here. This is where we all get jammed up, really high up. You gotta think that tissue is always pulling on that femur, especially if you are a man who lets your legs go out externally. You know, it's our glutes that are causing that to happen and they become just too tight and stuck. I already feel the tissue moving, the femur's kind of getting a little bit loose here. Starting to let me internally rotate that femur a little bit more. And that's what I'm looking for. So personally, I would say there to like, I got tired or uncomfortable doing that, but I'm going to get to the other side so you guys kind of see. This side's going to be different, okay? Somewhat similar, but I notice like more over here on this one is kind of holding me back. Same thing, it's still going to be that ups, kind of up here towards that coccyx. But I realized my left glute was so tight that it was forcing me into my right for years. Now, because my right always seemed tight, I was assuming that I needed to keep strengthening my right leg. And it just kept getting worse and worse as the years progressed. And now I understand I couldn't feel what my left hip was causing my right hip to do. Now, I sustained a knee injury to this probably when I was 15, 16. And I realized that's kind of what started the whole downfall of my body, even though I've been exercising, almost doing everything I should be, it's not stretching enough. And that's one thing I realized I put on the back burner, and I feel a lot of us do. This is where this percussion therapy can make up for all that kind of years of not stretching. So I'm working my way out to, you notice my quadricep a little bit tighter, my T-band. this is going to help increase blood flow to the area. Again, promote bigger range of motion. You know, maybe you're struggling getting a heavier weight, maybe a range of motion, or something that doesn't feel right. This is what percussion therapy will do. It'll help kind of alleviate soreness, tightness, again, increase the blood flow to the area, which is going to promote more growth, more faster recovery. You know, everything you kind of want or what are people looking for, and if you systematically work this into your workouts or around your workouts, you're going to start to see kind of huge results that I have as well. Another key position is kind of getting into this straight leg. Now, I've been doing this more recently, so I'm getting more out of that one because I haven't been doing that one as much. That's what will start to happen is over time, certain positions are going to elicit bigger responses. So I mean, I'll go here just for purpose sake, because I did a little bit of legs with deadlifts and whatnot earlier. It's actually getting a pretty good movement. So I'm staying right over by my hamstring area. You know, also my adductors come out right from underneath. I kind of scoot under it a little bit. You can feel it as adductors come out. So we got to realize, you know, the big muscles come right out of this junction point. Okay, your adductors, your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps come right off of here, and you know, when you think of the hamstrings, they start at this kind of fine point, fan out to the whole back of your leg, and then come back into finer points down by the knees. And so when these kind of, think of something getting twisted, and that's kind of what happens at the junction points of these muscles, because everything we're doing involves some sort of rotation, okay, when we're just going throughout our daily life, constantly twisting. Now, one of those muscles can smack down and kind of push into the other one, and now it can't move as well because just think about it, if I have something pushing down on it, this cannot move the way it's supposed to. And this happens all throughout our body. This is, again, what kind of percussion therapy allows, is that sliding of the muscle tissues kind of smoothly again, because that's what we're looking to get back is our ability to just move. And I mean, you can tell when you kind of go into one of these stretches, you can find kind of what a lot of people refer to cables, or why you think the hamstrings are called the hamstrings, is because they feel like there's a bunch of strings back there that have just gotten so tight. Those are the individual kind of, not individual, but fiber bundles that have just kind of gotten so tight, and they're not moving fluidly anymore, and they're restricting our movement patterns. And once we start to loosen and then add in combination of exercise, we can kind of get, again, these kind of huge responses. So I'll check my left real quick. This is why I like doing this, you know, after, again, I did like deadlifts, Romanians, did a bunch of stuff for my hips. This one. Okay, so if I get a little bit closer, I notice up in here is where I can feel my leg extending further, right? So if I reach out with this leg, and again, think about it, if my hip is like this all the time, my leg can't get that way. So like in martial arts, when you're kind of doing a driving ball kick or something, you know, that's what you're trying to get, is that hip forward and out. But for years, I was pitched because I thought I was getting more glute activation by kind of putting my butt back. But now I realize the ankle was not really appropriate for it. I needed to get that hip underneath me. So kind of straight down. So now my glutes can actually fire better. Now there's a point where too, yes, it can clock under. Now this is not too good because now I'm going forward too much. Now I can't get those hips back. So we want to make sure we get full range of motion through these hips. This is where the percussion therapy is, you know, huge in my opinion. Can help change angles, move fascia like nothing ever before. There's one other kind of key position if you watch someone getting into this position, and then I'd work going down into my hamstrings as well, and probably also into my quadriceps. But again, I want to be in the stretch position. So if I'm working my quadricep, maybe I'm in this position, maybe I'm just keeping it at a bent knee. But I want the muscle stretching when I do this. That's what's going to get you your big movement patterns and start to really stretch that tissue. Any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to ask. Thank you.